we were talking with Travis, right? One of our team members. And I said to him, how much time do you spend thinking about your hair every day, worrying about your hair, stressing about your hair? And how much time do you spend styling your hair to kind of conceal that hair loss? So you're not just saving time with your hairstyles, you're saving time in your brain. Like take that time in your brain that you use worrying about your hair, put it towards something more fun or more productive.
Productive.
Saves you a lot of time.
Time, and time is all you have.
And time is money.
And we're trying to like reverse time with all the technology that's coming out. There's like no excuse not to do something about your hair. The robot is incredible. There's a robot literally with artificial intelligence that can take hair and move it to where you need it. And it looks so natural that you can't even tell it's been done. No. Can't even tell. There is PRP, your own blood that you can use
just your blood,
to keep your hair thicker and fuller. There are exosomes, there are laser therapy, there are medications. Yeah. There's so many options that I don't think people still know that are out there.
Yep.
And pick one that works for you. Come to us. We'll help guide you that. We'll give you the education to inform you, to help you make the best decision for yourself. And we're here to support you.
Yeah.
And I think, what bothers me is that when I hear guys that come to me, it's like, man, I wish I'd done this like 10 years ago.
Always.
I wish I'd done this sooner. And I'm like, I wish you did too, because now, I say this all the time, the longer you wait, the more you lose, the harder it is to get it back to the way you want it. So.
And sometimes it's just not possible to get you all the way back, right? If you wait.
And you show me that photo from like high school and it's like, I want my hairline back to here.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna look natural.
It won't.
And we have to do age appropriate. And so you got to tackle things earlier. But if you didn't, that's okay. That's normal too. But we want to do what we can get you to that's best for you. And there's a lot of ways to do it. And then that kind of goes into like these mega sessions. Like you can only do so much at once. And I will tell you the latest ISHRS data from 2020 that I was reading about. How many procedures does the average person have? It's 3.4.
Yep.
Now, 0.4 is just an average, but so that tells me that people are waiting too long to where they need multiple procedures to get the results they want. 60% plus were satisfied with the first one, which is great.
Great.
But a lot of people say they're so happy they want more.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that is they don't do any preventative maintenance and they keep losing more. So they're using restoration as a form of maintenance, and that's not a good thing.
But that is also a lot of these clinics like that. They want, I'm trying to be, diplomatic here.
Yeah.
However, it is a fact that a lot of these clinics will say, here, 1,800 grafts. 1,800 grafts. Go ahead, and the patient might need, a 1 zone, 2 zone, 3 zone. Well, that's why we are a little different with the zones, right? And they know that patient might need 3,000 grafts, but they're going to set them up to come back in and have more procedures, because a patient in your chair is a lot more profitable than saying, here's some finasteride, here's some PRP for maintenance, right?
Yeah.
That long-term maintenance can save you time, can save you money, can just overall save your hair. And so that's a tactic that I don't love with those multiple procedures. And if you start early and you get on that maintenance, you're better off in so many ways.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, what about those people though that just did wait too long and they lost way too much and they're like, I want my hairline back?
We have to make a plan. We owe it to our patients, right? To be honest, to be a support system. And that is true. I mean, we are a support system, especially if you take the doctor performs the procedure, right? Makes the recommendations, but all the questions that you have that might just be a buddy kind of question. Hey, what do you think I should do? There's no pressure from us. If you're not ready to do this, you're not going to be happy. Get yourself ready, make sure all your questions are answered. Let us be your support system. And then we'll make a good, solid plan for you so that maybe we're not getting your 18-year-old hairline back because you don't have enough donor hair to cover that full head. But we're going to make a nice plan for you so we can either perform a procedure, give you some, density, and supplement that with, let's say, scalp camo, what we offer, to create the look of visual appearance of density. Or we're just going to give you a slightly receded hairline and still give you that frame to your face.
But it's age appropriate.
But it's age appropriate.
It looks good. It's kind of like the, what's that actor? Drawing a blank, the British actor. I ran into him in New York by our location in BSG.
What?
British guy, good looking guy.
McGregor?
The other one.
Jude Law.
Jude Law. Look at Jude Law. I want to, we can do a whole thing on actors and like those who have done something.
Speculative.
We could assume
we can be speculative.
But you've seen their hair change a lot over the years. But like he has a natural kind of receding.
Yeah.
Like it still looks good.
Yeah.
And I think you just got to find what looks good for you and not try to copy someone. So the other thing that I read, and I want to ask you a little bit of trivia here.
Oh God.
All right, when it comes to men and women. So the ISHRS, I'm always going to reference that data because I read it. It was really interesting. And it said, all right, of the men, who was the 1 hair or hairline that guys wanted to look like?
Brad Pitt.
You nailed it.
If you're objective and you stand back and you look at Brad Pitt's hairline, it's beautiful, it's natural, it's soft. It's not the thick wall of hair. That's what people think that they want. They don't want that. And if you look at actors in any movie, I don't care who they are, there is some sort of powder, fibers, filler, makeup. It's makeup. That's okay. And that's okay. So
don't get obsessed with the magazine ad of like, I want that Drake hairline. Because I get that a lot. Like, I want this linear hairline. Yeah. It's like...
And here's the thing. So as we see patients trend younger and younger in hair restoration, I'm thrilled because they're starting earlier. And is it more important for most patients at 20? It's more important to have hair at 20 than it is at 60 for a lot of guys, right? So great, we want to start you younger. Wonderful. But that comes with a very honest conversation and a very realistic conversation with a patient saying, hey, I know you're young. I know this is very important to you and it's hard to have hair loss at 20, 25, 30, much harder than it probably is at 60. But if we're going to do this, we have to be realistic with the hairline length and distance, with how far we lower it, with how dense it is, because we need to A, preserve some of your donor hair in the event you lose more in the future, right? We don't want to give you, like you said, that hairline and then have nothing behind it. And B, we want to make sure that this hairline looks good today at 25 and also good when you're 55, because that's not going anywhere, right?
And also consider like, we still don't know the severity of your hair loss and we don't want to take hair that might fall out in the future and move that. So you have to really come up with a plan and take your time. And that's where get on maintenance first. Let's try this first. Yep. And then work on it. And that's all, again, determined by the doctor and that specific patient.
But that is what I do love about Barber Surgeons Guild. All of our doctors are ethical. So if a patient walks in and wants a low baby, 18-year-old hairline, no, sorry. And that's okay to say. It's okay. It's actually, you're doing your patient a favor. Yeah. And they often trust you more because you gave them some advice they didn't probably want to hear, but they appreciate in the long run, right? Whereas you see patients go into other offices and other practices and they come out with this ridiculously low hairline that is not natural appearing at 25. Oh, it's awful.
It's so noticeable.
It kills me. Because I can't believe there are doctors still doing that.
And it's noticeable because it's not natural. And when things change too much on a person's face or their hair,
you look at it.
You see it. It will draw your attention to it. Styles change too.
Totally.
It's like tribal tattoos were super cool in the 90s, but now they're all being covered up.
Laser removal or a cover up. Yeah, it's true.
And then my other trivia, who was the #1 hair that women wanted?
Jennifer Lawrence?
It was actually Eva Longoria.
Oh, she's got beautiful hair. Yeah.
Like her thick fullness of hair.
That thick, kind of coarse, dense hair. Beautiful hair, yeah. And that's on the women's subject, whereas men are starting to talk a bit more about their hair loss, women still feel shame with hair loss. They'll tell you all about their plastic surgery, their Botox, but when it comes to hair, it is hard for women to talk about hair loss. It's very hard. It's emotional. And the motivation for a woman coming in to talk to us is completely different than it is for a man. Yeah. Completely different. There are studies that show, we've talked about these studies a lot, we reference them a lot, that the perception of hard work and work well done changes on a good hair day versus a bad hair day. Did you know that?
No, that's interesting.
It's a Yale University study that says if a male, specifically men, if men are having a bad hair day, they don't perceive the work that they've done to be as productive or successful as when they're having a good hair day.
If I wake up with really bad bedhead and I got this cowlick, I'll obsess with it all day. And I get to a point, but That's fascinating. I can see that because, we have a barbershop as well.
Yeah.
And we combine the style and the medicine. That's part of our approach. Like we approach it from all angles, stylistically, with a professional stylist perspective, and then a doctor's perspective, and then we kind of combine those two. So that's what makes us unique. But I've noticed with a barbershop that just a good haircut changes your attitude immediately.
100%.
You can walk in, just feeling a little, it's a bad day, whatever. Walk out, fresh new haircut, and you're like,
confident.
I'm ready to go. Bing, bang, boom. Imagine if that was full-time and permanent.
Do you remember the commercials from years ago? Vidal Sassoon looked like you just walked out of a salon, or salons, some shampoo company, right? That was what it was. Maybe it was Salon Selective, some 90s shampoo commercial.
How come some women always look like they've just stepped out of a salon?
That feeling and what they convey in that commercial.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe she's born with it.
That's makeup. No. But that feeling where they show a woman walking into a salon kind of like drab, and then she walks out and she's got like a beautiful dress on, her hair is flowing, she's confident, her chin's up. That is the feeling.
Yeah.
That's the feeling. And what I also see people walk out with their chin up and confidence just walking out of a consultation, because then they have hope. They can fix their hair.
Yeah.
They walk in, they're nervous, they're skeptical. Why am I here? Oh my God, what am I doing? They walk out and they're like, hey, cool, thanks guys, see you soon.
Yeah, I got answers.
Yeah, I got answers.
I got answers.
I got answers. I know what I'm talking about now. I feel like I have a way forward, and that's really important.
I want to ask you one last question.
Yeah.
What is the best comment or like feedback you got from a customer after their results?
I had a retired NYPD police officer come in and have a procedure, and he was retired, so he was in his 60s. He waited, a bit longer, and he had reasons for that, for waiting, work and financial and family. And he came in my office before he left, and he cried. And he said, I have taken care of everyone my whole life. Everyone, my kids, people in New York, right, in the city, my wife, my parents, my siblings. I've taken care of everybody, and I've never done anything for myself. And I have no results to speak of, but I did something for myself. I did something to make myself feel better. Look better, sure, but feel better. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna take my wife out on a date. I'm like, okay, wait a couple days. But I mean, like chills. I know that's cheesy, but it's true. I mean, crying, I'm like, can I give you a hug?
Fun.
Like, he was so happy to have done something for himself. It's okay to take care of yourself. We're in the self-care generation, right? It's okay to do that, especially when you've worked really hard and you've earned it. It's okay to do that. So that emotional reaction to something that there were no results to speak of yet. He had just had his procedure and was flying home. Oh,
I once met a guy. We did a procedure, a robot procedure, and he came back and he told me, he's like, you changed my life, Greg. You changed my life. Oh. Like, I owe you everything. I was like, I didn't do anything. You did it for yourself, man. Yeah. And he really meant it. Yeah. And for him, hair to him was life-changing. Yeah. Again, you don't die of hair loss. It's nothing you need. But if it's something you want, and if it's going to impact your life that good in a positive way, I encourage everyone to seek it out, ask questions, follow our advice, ask those questions we suggest, and do what's best for you. Yep. Not for the clinic, not for the doctor, not for anyone else. Like, do it for you and make the decision for yourself, and ask those questions, and I think you'll be happy.
Yeah, I agree.